Today I will be reviewing the Dyson V6 Total Clean Vacuum, Cordless Vacuum. Now, although Dyson have discontinued the V6 range, you can still find them on Dyson's eBay store. Some retailers might still have the V6, or you could pick up a V7 or V8, which is quite similar in performance to the V6. I wouldn't say the performance would be similar from the V10 because that's quite an upgrade, but in V6, V7 and V8 performance is largely the same. Obviously this is what comes with the V6 Total Clean package. Perhaps what comes with the V8 Total Clean will be different. You'll probably get these same. This is pretty basic for a Total Clean model, so it comes with, most of them come with at least these two. But anyway, I'll show you the attachments and features of this machine. Then we have a bit of a test track built for the V6 to handle, and it's a bit extreme, but at least it is messes you would probably find if you're as clumsy as I am. So first we have the extension pole, which takes your Dyson handheld into something you can use on the floor. It has power connectors on there, because these heads are motorised and not just little air-driven ones. That's a very nice red colour. Most of the colours are very nice. They do blue, purple, orange. I like the red though. These are the two basic tools which come with pretty much all the Dyson cordlesses. You get a 2-in-1 tool with a brush and quite a wide opening. They've changed that slightly. They've put a better catch on there, but largely in principle the same. Crevice tool. Who doesn't know what a crevice tool is? This is a mini motorised tool, drop it then, which has rotating brushes, also motorised for pet hair, pet beds, sofas if your couch is not leather. This is the direct drive head. Most of these are Dyson's names. This is best on carpets. You can use it on floors, but you're better to use the fluffy floor head, which has a very soft washable roller, which is designed to pick up big bits and small bits, so we're going to test that out. Both of these heads have a really nice swivel action, so Dyson call that the V-ball, so you can basically turn right round. Same for the fluffy head, it's got a really nice swivelling action. You also get the charger, which I'm using right now, and a wall mount, which I don't have to hand, but it's basically a bracket you can drill onto the wall, and it holds the Dyson, two of the tools, and it charges it. So in here it is relatively empty. That is what was in there, so I'll vacuum that up and empty it. So speaking of emptying, all you do, press this red button and this opens up. Now quite often bits get stuck there and also get wrapped around this shroud. Now I used this very quickly and that's got wrapped on there, but taking the bin on and off, putting the bin on and off, is very easy. You just have to line it up properly, which you probably can't do one-handed, or you can if you're the Hoover Master, that is. There's a filter in the top which needs to be rinsed once a month, so basically take that under your cold tap, do it like this and flush it, bash it until you get clear water. Then here we have how to use the vacuum. So basically it's a trigger. So when you press the trigger you get suction. Now it gives you about 17 minutes of constant suction with a motorised head, or about 5-6 minutes on the boost setting, max, which if max is on, like it is now, there's a blue light that comes on. But for our performance demos today, I'm going to use the lower setting, because that is probably what you'd use in day-to-day life. So I'll get you set up, ready for the demos. So, Dyson V6, set up with the fluffy head. It's on its lowest setting. Let's try it on some rice and some, well, I say crushed up, they're pretty crushed up, biscuits. So I'm sure we've all been a bit excited about to heat some rice up, maybe opening a packet of biscuits for your cup of tea, and you happen to drop them all. So let's give the Dyson a go on its lowest setting. Dust container is empty, I haven't blocked it up or anything. Let's give it a go. say it's handled rice very well. It's spat a couple of particles out, but I think it's done pretty well. Let's move you over very slightly for the biscuits, and we'll do a sweep through the middle. Now I'll go quite slow because it is slightly unfair. We're doing huge chunks, but we'll give it a go anyway. Now something got blocked there. I think there was just too many chunks for that, but I can't blame it, that is extreme. Let's give that a go again. I think the fluffy head must be blocked, so for excessive large particles the Total Clean V6 struggled a little bit. I'm going to try it on the higher power setting once I clear the tube. That's a bit better. Let's try it on the higher setting. So let's see if that makes a difference. And it definitely stops it clogging. However, it has flung some biscuits on my clean patch of floor, so nothing's excessively coming out of there. Let's clean the rest up. We'll try it again on, I'll do the worst of it on high and then the rest on low. So the fluffy head just isn't liking the excess of large particles. I'd say that's done pretty well. Maybe you'd have to use the higher setting, maybe you'd have to crush the biscuits up a little bit. Let's quickly have a look at how much stuff is stuck in the fluffy head. So, as you can see, there isn't any, just some little crumbs which would come off probably if you gave it a wee shake like that, but then you'd have to vacuum them up again. So I will just do that now. Okay, so for floors, it's a pass. So now I'm going to empty it. Be back in a second, I'll show you what's picked up. So we have a bag. Let's awkwardly try and empty the V6 one-handed into this bag. Now obviously it's going to spill on the floor a little bit, so you might have to vacuum that up once we have emptied it. So here's all it's picked up, all squished up. All the rice has combined itself very well with the biscuits. Now, there's a wee bit that's big and got caught in the bin. Now that's something I find. When you vacuum up here, it gets wrapped to this piece. Now your fingers will only go in so far, so to empty it, it's a bit of a farce. You have to take the bin off, and it takes off any particles. Then what is wrapped on the shroud you can brush over your bin, and then a good tap means you've got lots of dust and biscuits falling out. So emptying it is a bit of an inconvenience on the V6. On Dyson's V7 and V8 there is what they call the hygienic dust ejector, which basically you pull here and this bit gets scraped clean so that all your big bits and all your hair is scraped out, which is brilliant, but if only they'd incorporated that earlier. Let's clean up what came out. utility room. On the rug I have put yet some more crushed up biscuits, which maybe should be crushed in a little more. I will do that off camera. And plenty more rice. I've also attached the direct drive cleaner head for carpets, but also I've done a little line up the edge, which we're going to do with a combi tool, which I use on my edges because there's a soft brush where you can pick up big bits. So V6 again is empty, it's on normal mode. So I'm just going to go and crush these up a bit more. Give me a second. So I've got the biscuits crushed in, and it'll be quite interesting to see because I've really got them in the pile. So it'll be interesting to see how the Dyson does. Now, like the fluffy head, stuff must have been trapped in there, but it never actually blocked and lost all its suction. The bits that were right grained into the pile it has left, but perhaps if we put it on the max mode it will clean them up. So for stubborn dirt that's right in your, if you've got rugs or carpets like Sizer like we have, maybe the V6 isn't for you because as good as it is, there isn't really enough power from a cordless vacuum to really get what's cutting the carpets out. Let's finish the job with this because I think the direct drive head has had enough biscuits for one day. Okay, so now it is full of biscuits. I'm going to have a look at the head, and you'll see it's actually done pretty well. There's nothing caught in there, so it hasn't blocked. So perhaps if you've got big bits on a floor that the fluffy head, that maybe the fluffy head will just clog up on, perhaps you could use the direct drive head. So let's test it on rice, and I'm going to go a bit faster because it's not rubbed in. So for a rice spill, it's done pretty well. A wee bit falling out, but if we start again, I think that's done a pretty good job. So for stuff like rice, an average spill, very, very good. So I have the combi tool attached with the bristles retracted, and basically in this corner and along this edge I've got plenty of crushed up biscuits. Seems to be a theme. So let's run the Dyson along. Now you'll notice, you maybe can't see, there's a wee bit caught under the skirting, so I'm going to put the brush down. Yep, there we are, it agitated it out. So edges and stuff like that, the V6 is brilliant. I'm going to finish the job by testing if the direct drive head is any good on floors, because you can use it on floors if you want to be lazy. Let's give it a go. Okay, so it left that, well, cleaned it up, so it did very well actually. Quite impressed with that. Obviously, bits like to keep falling out like that once it's turned off, but you can't help that. Let's clean up what's left. So, with the Dyson V6 emptied, I've attached a mini motorised head, and I ate some biscuits over here and on purposely made a big mess. So this will simulate some mucky upholstery. Now, this isn't going to be too accurate. I think a lot of stuff will slide off because it isn't the biggest cushion. It's a cushion for my dog's bed. So, anyway, let's give this a go. You might see some agitation from this brush because it does make the particles bounce pretty well. But let's give this Dyson a go. I might do it like this. Now I was right, I knew stuff would get scattered about because the section of this was picking up the cushion cover and actually flinging the bits of biscuit off, so that was my fault. I'd still give it full marks for that. Now it's got grease from the biscuits inside. Let's just clean the rest up with this head. So, let's think if there's any other performance reviews to do. So we're going to have a go on a pile of dirt now, and I'm actually going to use the normal setting. That sucks up really well, especially pulling it in from the side, even on the lower setting actually. So let's finish the job. Can't leave it half done. Now that would simulate something like if you drop something on your kitchen counter. Obviously you wouldn't really do this on the floor because you've got all those nice floor heads for that. But if you say opening a packet of biscuits and that happens on your counter, then you can just lock it up. Hang on. Back to a slight problem. If you suck up too many biscuits at one time, you will of course block the I've yet to actually use a Dyson that just doesn't block up. They all seem to block up. I'm going to have to fix this one. There you go. That's all cleared up. Maybe that was my fault for cleaning too much at a time, but I haven't really ever used a Dyson that hasn't blocked up unless you're talking about like a full size. Okay, we're back to normal. So if you think that's a lot quicker than the dustpan and brush we all grew up with, fond memories now everyone's getting cordless vacuums. Bit of a fun test before I sum up. I've put the whole biscuits and rice that I've had through the whole demo, and I want to see how much of it can we suck up before we either A, block up, or B, fill the container. That's cool, look at that. We're doing pretty well so far. Let's just give it a wee tap. Okay, so that is well and truly full, and we pretty much got all of that in there. If I give that a wee bash, that's as much as we're going to get, I think. Hey, we got it all in, so that's pretty impressive. That was quite a decent capacity. So I'll go and empty that, finish the job and sum up. So would I recommend a Dyson cordless vacuum? Yes, I would. Brilliant vacuums, are pretty powerful, probably one of the best cordlesses I've used. they've fixed the emptying flaw on V7 onwards, so that's pretty good. They clean carpets well, they clean floors well. They're great for all your fiddly kind of jobs, like if you've got cupboards that you put stuff in and out every day and you'll get crumbs in there. It's great to just grab this and clean up any of your messes. So I would totally recommend one of these. You can find them at great prices if you shop around. Don't just go, oh look, this retailer has an offer on, buy one. If you compare prices, pricerunner.com is good for that. You'll get some really good prices on them. So this is a V6 I have, but I would recommend any of them. I wouldn't go for one lower than a V6 really, because those were only really quick spillage cleaners, but these can do a decent job of vacuuming if you don't want to be using a big vacuum more than once a week. So thank you for watching. Hope this 21 minutes was helpful. It was a bit of fun for me, and thank you.